Welcome to Healing Highs with Lara, where we talk about the highlights and serendipitous moments of our healing journeys. I'm your host, Lara, an international energy healer for animals and humans. Thank you for being here. I love sharing these stories with you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful because you're welcoming us into your space. I want to introduce you all to Alexandra Michelle, Kundalini Activation facilitator and trainer. I'm so excited because I took a workshop of yours. I can't remember if it was a year and a half or 2 years ago, but it was so, I loved it so much. And I was telling the void that I often look at it like, can I do another one? When can I? Because I really loved it. And I was telling someone in my family about it, like, do you want to do it together? Because it was really, I felt so, your energy was so warm and welcoming, and it was so beneficial. So thank you for that. But that was how I connected to you. So thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I know. Yeah. I can't wait to hear more about your story. Which brings me to this question, Kundalini activation. I think more and more people know about that, but could you give us a little explanation?
It definitely is becoming more common, and for that I'm so grateful. In the beginning it was so obscure. So it's just a way of making very, very obvious and manifest that innate spiritual intelligence, which is our own creative, divine energy. And so there's lots of different ways of looking at it. Every tradition, every school acknowledges it, calls it a different name.
Yes.
In the Hindu tradition, the Vedic tradition, or the yogic tradition, it's known as Kundalini, which is a Sanskrit word, and Kunda means coiled. So it's this energy that lives in the root chakra region. There's a more specific location. And in Buddhist terms, it's called Tumo, or wind horse is the metaphor. It's also the Holy Spirit, or the Shekinah, in the Judeo-Christian traditions. And in the yogic tradition, most of the spiritual practices, whether they say it or not, is seeking to stimulate, circulate, activate the Kundalini. Because when that principle is ignited and brought forth and cultivated in our awareness, there's a purification that happens. And it's also the power of awareness. So something that's beautiful is the perennial wisdom, the insights of all the traditions start to be born from within. There's that intuition, and then, anyways, it's different for everybody, but that's really how it was for me. And it just serves your spiritual evolution. So once this energy is alive and active in your system, there's this different dimension of awareness that gets woken up. So not only does it facilitate personal healing, personal clearing, increased awareness, it serves in the meditative journey. So it's that personal power that allows you to transcend the mind and the emotional bodies in order to experience that which is greater. And with it comes all kinds of energetic capacities and abilities. A lot of people start manifesting healing abilities, channeling abilities, different psychic abilities, but it's just the increase of our awareness. So anyways, Kundalini activation. Usually Kundalini is sort of cultivated and circulated and stimulated through practice, right? Mantra, visualization, breathing patterns, pranayama, certain types of meditation, or in older times through transmission, through initiation from a guru, a teacher who can do such things. They would ignite it in their students, and then it's up to the students to cultivate their own energy from there. And so in this practice, it's not Shaktipat, it's Pranapat. So it's one step lower than Shaktipat. So Shaktipat goes right to the root and starts to wake up the energy from there. In this practice, the ambient Prana Shakti energy comes in and sort of meets you where you're at. So it tends to be more embodied. It tends to stimulate the emotional body and the mental body to have insights and releases. So it's a very cathartic practice. And it essentially structures and vitalizes the whole system and all of the bodies so that when and if the internal coiled Kundalini is ready to awaken and start rising, then the system is prepared to do that. So people get a lot of the benefits of Kundalini activity prior to their own energy starting to wake up. So it's kind of like prior to preparation, but also sort of transcending that traditional pathway.
Right.
And so a lot of people are very serious practitioners and they use it to fuel their own practice.
Yeah.
And then other people just sort of come to it as a safe place to feel their feelings, safe place to move stagnant energy, regulate their nervous system, and it can also be very celebratory because it's set to a soundtrack. So it's like each practice, each session is like a little ritual and a little ceremony. Yeah. And it's very, it's also very primal. It's like human beings throughout all of time have gathered together for group catharsis and
Yeah.
So
amazing explanation.
Does that answer?
Yeah. I love it because I feel like you gave us lots of different pieces of it, and that's so helpful because we were saying, it is so much more known now, right? People are talking about it. It's a word that's being used. But I think really us knowing specifically that aspect of it from you, and then we can see through your lens of how you're practicing and then what it is you're, in a small way, like the explanation truly could be for hours, I'm sure. And like you said, you're a trainer, so you're teaching. This is not a workshop type of thing. It's you're going to have to really learn it more. But I think that was perfectly said. And I love that you said the celebratory, because I was thinking, I've done a lot of Kundalini yoga where it's using all the different aspects, and it always at the end felt very celebratory, like feeling that coil energy and just like feeling the different things it'll bring out of body, the buzzy feeling like I would always feel that like I'm really big, I'm really small, like different things, and I was like, this is so fun.
It is so fun. And it's life force. So it's very life affirming. It's very in agreement with life itself, which is what I'm all about.
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. So what brought you to that?
So I had, you want that like from the beginning?
Well, and I was going to say, either is it that, or was there something before, like what brought you to the healing journey?
Right. So prior to studying to transmit, this particular field at the level of prana shakti, the Kundalini activation, I was studying with a tantric mystic for 3 years, very intensively. And we had a different practice where he would call it going into light. But scouring lots of books, I have found like whispers of it, but it's not a very well-known practice because it really, it takes something to do it properly and to be responsible with it. Anyways, there was a small group of us, 16 of us, and we were studying quite intensively with him. And he introduced us to lots of, different world traditions. He called it cosmopolitan spirituality. So we were introduced to aspects of shamanism, Buddhism, yoga, Vedic paths. And I always knew that I wanted to open people's help to facilitate, to open people's awareness, because that is what changed everything for me. But it wasn't simple. The way that he was holding it, it was very it's like, okay, I can do 16 of you.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm sure he could do more, but then when I was introduced to this work, I sort of saw it as a more accessible entry into that same kind of energetic cultivation, consciousness spaces. And I took, it was with Bennett Wong and Sigrid Brelid, CAP is Kundalini Activation process.
Right,
so I went to several sessions with them. This was back in 2019 when they were still teaching live. And then he said, I'm having a facilitator training. Let me know if you want to participate. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. I was like, this is the thing that I've been looking for, hoping for, praying for, visualizing. Because for me, healing is the point, right? It's the benefit, but overarching that is the consciousness, right? It's like if we can discover that there is more to this reality, if there's, it's the possibility of liberation, not just healing, that's really exciting to me. And so if we can cultivate our energy bodies in order to give us enough personal power and fluidify our minds enough to get beyond our own sense of individual right struggle. And what's beautiful is not only it's like, yes, the transcendence, but then it cycles back in. It's like you get transcendent and then you get into the love and then you get into the compassion and then you go right back into the human condition, and it's like this gorgeous breathing thing. But so tangent. So that training was offered. I jumped in. I knew that it was an accessible, highly potent, highly transformative, simple but profound way to reach people. And like I said, you can take it for just the experience and just, the catharsis and the healing and the insight that you get from that one session, or you can use it as a path to really serious, personal development and consciousness development. So that's how I started.
Yeah, that's amazing. So our podcast is always, we love talking about in that journey and on that way to doing that and through that. Were there moments that you felt like a serendipitous sign or a validation from the universe that like, yeah, you're in it, you're on the right path?
Well, it was just so easy.
Yeah, that is such a huge thing, right?
That was the sign where it was, it's like every once in a while I'll be watching a movie and it's like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And I'm like, well, yeah, they wrote it. And then I look at my own life and it's the exact same. Or I'm like, it is written, right? It's like, and then this happened, and then I met that person, and then I just signed up, and then I did that, and then I said yes, and then I went here. And it really felt like that. And so I think that is a big indication.
Huge. Yes, I love that.
But, prior to that, especially when I was first waking up, I can share. I think I tell this story all the time, but it's because it's really central to the whole experience. When I was in college, I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So no Kundalini in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 2010 when I was in college. I was reading the book Eat, Pray, Love, which was, all the rage.
Yes.
And in the very beginning of that book, she describes receiving Shaktipat.
Oh my gosh, I didn't remember that.
Does not call it Shaktipat,
Okay.
but she talks about how she was dating this guy, and then he had an Indian guru, and she came and sat before her, and she got the sacred touch, and then she felt the energy up the spine. And in that moment, little 19-year-old Alexandra, totally, sheltered from everything, I had it was everything in me lit up. I was like, oh my God, that's for me.
Yeah.
And then further on in my journey, maybe 2 years later, I stumbled onto Ram Dass's book, Remember, Be Here Now. And in the beginning of that book, he talks about how he was a university professor, and then he started taking LSD with Timothy Leary, and he had all of these extraordinary experiences of self-transcendence, seeing through the fabric of reality, getting really high in all of the ways he means it, but he would come down again. And so he was led to India, where he met Maharaji Neem Karoli Baba, and he started experiencing those same psychedelic experiences being in the field of his teacher and through meditation. And so I had that structure in my mind when I met my first teacher, who took me into light. And so when I went into light for the first time and I had this psychedelic experiences, so essentially when you go into light, there's a wavelength that's held open through the field of the teacher. So it's another type of transmission. And it allows the person meditating with the facilitator to start perceiving energy, lights, astral things, and on and on and on with their eyes open. It's really cool.
That sounds really
It's amazing. Yeah. And so when that happened for me, I went, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. this is the psychedelic experience through meditation, you know? So it's sort of, it's like, you know, I noticed this pattern in my own life where it's like life sort of sets me up to know what it is when I get there.
Yeah, like you'll recognize it.
It's like, look, we make sure you know this so that when you get to it, you know it's...
Yeah.
And so that was so transformative. Like reading about Ram Dass's experience was like, whoa. And then I went and found my teacher. It was like, whoa.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah. And so I've been really blessed to like not be ambivalent about the things that are right for me. I really get that whole body yes, and I really feel excited. And so, you know, it's like that kind of pattern, that kind of synchronicity.
When you're saying that, like, whole body yes, I think that's so important because I think some people want to know what that feels like and they haven't quite accessed that fully.
Yeah,
and
sure.
We've talked about that before in a previous episode where I was led to someone and I was told, like, you know, this, say yes to everything. Like, and it was this, like, you're going to feel it, you know? And, like, what do you observe in that maybe people could learn from?
Well, I think the whole journey of learning to trust oneself is huge for all of us that are sort of rehabilitating ourselves and coming out of conditioning and coming out of programming. And because our upbringing teaches us to outsource all of our everything, right?
Obviously everything.
Our path, our movement forward, what we're allowed to do, who we're allowed to be. And so, you know, the first thing I want to say is if there's like a doubt, if there's a question, that's totally sane and rational and normal. And the question I would invite all of us to ask ourselves is, what's the worst thing that could happen if I trusted myself? Right? My intuition, my body, whatever part of you, right? It's just an idea says, hey, do this thing. And maybe there's a layer that says, no, you can't do that. Right? So you clock that, you go, okay, great. So I've got two parts of me. What's the worst thing that would happen if I followed my heart, right? And your heart might say something as silly as like, I want to wear this like feathery, crazy, you know, it's like, I want to do something, I want to wear an outfit that I normally wouldn't wear. Well, what's the worst thing that could happen? You know, somebody looks at you sideways. Well, guess what? They won't. You know, try it. So I think it's just giving ourselves the wiggle room to experiment, to try it on, to hold both parts with equanimity and compassion and go, okay, great. So I'm doubting myself. That makes sense. And just for today, let me see if I can try that. And then for people that have a little bit more somatic access, I think the full body yes, it lives in the heart. It lives in the gut. It's like you might get goose flesh. You might be flushed.
True.
You're going to have that like spike of dopamine, that spike of that rush of endorphins. You're going to feel really inspired. And what it's like I encounter a lot of people that have that and then they feel like if I don't do everything right now, then it's not going to. And I go, okay, so great. So just get a pen, write it down. And just, it's like, let it manifest when it manifests. It's like you're participating in the unfolding of everything right now. And when we are, I mean, I think all of us are on a spiritual journey,
yes,
but the difference is, am I fully or am I partially, right? Is there a part of me that acknowledges that it's happening and is in agreement? Right? And some days we're not in agreement, but do you keep coming back to it?
Are you mostly agreeing that you're on a spiritual journey, signed up for it, or just letting it kind of happen around you?
Then there is it's like a destiny calling us forward that gets ignited. Even if there's these layers that obscure it, it's like sometimes the confusion, we have to be confused in order to go down a path that we wouldn't normally allow ourselves to go down. You know what I mean? So it's all a zigzag path.
Oh, yeah.
You know? But I think the beauty comes from continually recommitting.
Yeah, truly. definitely. When you are doing your, I hate the word work, but it's like,
okay.
here we are, we're reframing it.
Yeah.
I know you do your online groups and you do one-on-one. What, in working with your clients and participants, what are some of the things that they kind of say to you afterwards that they experience after?
It's a lot of people have really profound insights. They have visionary experiences, and it's not just the experience of like a visual sense, it's the feeling sense, it's the knowing sense. And it goes all the way through. Like, people have a lot of family movements. I'm also a constellator, so
love that.
Yeah, and it was really interesting because I started working with my constellations teacher after I trained in this modality, and when I started training with them, the constellations started happening in the activation sessions. It was wild, So people will have insights and understandings about their family dynamics, and with that typically comes a lot of forgiveness and compassion and or an understanding of what movements they need to take to be more in harmony with their selves, and so that happens a lot. People do have transcendent experiences, what they might call non-dual experiences, where they have an insight about the the teachings of the ages. They also those are some of the more profound manifestations. They also, people have emotional releases. They get to cry, or they get to scream, or they get to laugh. People shake and tremble. So, at the very beginning stages, there's a lot of trauma release that happens on a somatic level. It can happen. And it's also the nadis and meridians clearing out and animating. And then people are taken into like absorbed meditative states. So it's like all of the signs and symptoms of Kundalini activity at its height.
Right.
So it's like, I'm holding the field is also coming in through a mysterious process, whatever. I don't know. I just am grateful that it happens.
It's here.
It's here. And, but it's also the group, coming together for their collective purpose. And each, body that starts to radiate then makes the field more palpable and more palpable and more. So it's like, so it's a very, it's like the Kundalini field can be very gentle and, very subtle. And people who critique this work, that's one of the things that they typically point to. It's like, Kundalini shouldn't be so aggressive. Like, this is a misunderstanding or a misuse of the work. And I agree with them, but it's also a tantric practice.
Right.
And Tantra is created for the Kali Yuga, when we're very, very dense. So it's one of those practices that turns the volume way, way up so that you can get through.
Yeah.
And I don't recommend that people do this as their only practice, right? It should be a supplement. It should be an infusion that they then take into the rest of their practices, into their mindfulness, into their prayer, into, whatever it is, however it is you keep your field open continually. This is, it's a container for catharsis. It's a container for, it's like sometimes our doubting human mind that's been made so cynical gets so loud. It's like you have to have a level 8, 9, 10 experience to remind yourself the truth, the other truth.
Yeah.
So that's some of what we do.
That's very
in those
true.
Practices.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you said that, because I know I've had a couple clients who have gone and tried different Kundalini practices, and then we'll be like kind of chatting about it, and they will say, it's too harsh for me. It's too, I didn't go back. And so I'm glad you're saying that, because I feel like there needs to be more.
Other practitioners have a much more like masculine, penetrative energy. And other practitioners are much more like, gentle, and they ramp it up gradually. And that's what my transmission has come to be. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like, and people do come to my classes having gone to other people and say, wow,
Note
this was
that.
so much more gentle. This was
interesting.
so much more like deep and loving, and, so
That,
choose your practitioners according to what you want.
and also
right?
like know that that's not Kundalini for every practitioner. Like I
Right.
think when I think of this conversation that I had with someone, they were really then turned off of it,
Yeah,
you know?
of
So it's
course.
like, know that that's not always the case, and find someone that is more aligned if it's,
Yeah.
still calling you.
Yes.
And it was reminding me of when I did take your class, that I kept feeling like just this little movement in my knee, like just this like little thread being pulled kind of a thing. And that when we were done, what I opened my eyes because one of my cats came and put her nose there. And I was like, huh? And I just thought, wow, okay, they completely, like saw or felt that there was something right there happening. So as you were talking, I was like, that's right. I remember now that happening, and at the end being like, that was so cool. And like you said, your different awarenesses and knowledge and wisdoms that you have are coming through. So you're having people with the constellation, energy coming in, and they're feeling that, and they need that specifically. That's why they're
Yes.
being drawn to you. You have cat energy, so the cats probably we're like, hey, we like this. So I think it's all part of it, But yeah, I'm so glad you said that, because I remember having these conversations where people are like, oh no, Kundalini is too harsh, and I think that's a great thing to know, that it's always going to be different depending on who's holding the space.
And different practitioners, I don't want to criticize anybody,
No.
because everybody serves their purpose.
Exactly.
And they serve the people that they're meant to serve.
Yes.
And some people need that kind of penetrating movement. And I think that with time and wisdom, the practitioner learns that this really is the recipient's own energy. This is a grace and a wisdom that doesn't need my emphasis, right? It's like, if I just hold the field and just, and just the lightest, gentlest touch, it's like the willingness and the readiness of the person will give everything. And sometimes it's not an intellectual readiness, right? Sometimes the grace is fierce grace.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I think that's perfectly said. In your own practice of, because I'm sure you work on yourself, right? And then what are some significant moments that you've had where you've brought in like a specific like download or awareness or observation?
I mean,
I know.
It's hard to even say, because I feel like it happens all the time. It happened a lot really at the beginning. I feel like I got front loaded, and then there was a long period of integration where everything felt a lot more quiet. And I think what can be so valuable is learning to trust the lulls. And the Dark Night of the Soul, when St. John of the Cross wrote that, of course, it's like it's come to be colloquially understood to be a time of great difficulty and suffering. And yes, that's true. But the deeper meaning is, this great mystic was talking about these times when the voice of God goes silent. And so we can, it's like, I like to acknowledge that part too.
Yes.
And
it's important.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, because I feel like I get my insights when I'm with the minds of other people. So I'll get like teachings and insights when I'm in a group, or even when I'm like out to dinner.
Yeah.
Or I feel like I like pick it out of other people's minds, and then it kind of filters through. Something just came to mind. I'm not really answering your question.
Oh my God, it's taking you somewhere.
It's like, so. I know, like, something comes to mind. I used to wait tables before I started facilitating full time, which was great, because I learned so much, and it was flexible. And anyways, there was a a woman who wrote on her receipt, like, hold the darkness lightly.
Wow. What a thing to write. That's
You know?
amazing.
And so, it's like a message like that. I'm like, ooh, it's like, you see me? It's like, what motivated you to do this? And also, like, when I was waiting tables, there was like a period of time when people would come through with Anubis, like Anubis on their shirt, Anubis tattoos, Anubis necklaces. Like, it just happened over and over again. So it's like a lot of times the messages that I receive, yes, I'll get an insight that comes through, and then I'll write about it, and then I'll write about it again and sort of, integrate it and process it. And then I'll go to a book, and then I'll like read about it. And, but it'll also be reflected. Like
in that. Yeah. I love that. First, I love what they wrote on the receipt. That's a wonderful sentence. But yeah, right. Like, what a great idea to like write things and then it hits you. Like, do you know something about me? Like, sorry, just with the mic. But yeah, do you know something about me? Like, do you know, like, something? Did you see something? How did you know I needed to hear that? So I think that's so perfect that you had that experience. And then, like you said, you see the theme of something, right? Like, I feel like a lot of people will say this. I've heard, if you see something in threes, you're like, okay, I need to pay attention to this. Like, this is the third time that I've heard that phrase or seen that symbol or heard about a modality. I better go try it or something, So I feel like that it just, again, it supports us on our journey. It reminds us and it guides us sometimes, but it's very validating. Yeah.
Very validating. And again, it comes back to that whole idea of like, well, can I trust myself? Can I see what I'm looking? Can I trust what I'm getting?
Yeah.
And the answer is like, well, what's the worst thing that would happen if you did trust it?
Yeah.
Just try, just see. We are all making it up as we go.
Exactly. Yeah. That question, what's the worst thing? It's a common question in theta healing that you ask that, like, of people to like go further, like keep going. And then
I'm probably talking about it because you're sitting here.
I was gonna say, it's like when you said it before, I was like, anyone listening that they're probably like, how could you not like saying anything? Like, you say that all the time. So yeah, I was like, I better acknowledge it.
Nice.
Like, it's just funny. And because we were also talking about that you have like a vortex around you because you have a free library outside, and you were saying that people put books that are all these spiritual, amazing, and you said there was like a theta healing book.
Yes.
And so like, in those things in general, like, you're just being so supported and held in your own neighborhood. Like, here's some more stuff you would love.
Yes, it's true. And it's not something special about me. It's something that any and all of us can do. Yes. If we continually say yes. If we continually say yes, if we continually explore, if we continue to play, right? That's that real playfulness aspect.
Yes.
And there's, the element of delight. There's the element of imagination. And people really discount that. But it's an imaginal realm that is a part of reality. It's just that it's usually invisible until we start affirming it and delighting in it. And then it starts to pop up in manifestation.
In the physical form or,
And, a lot of people come to work with me because they want to cultivate their mystical abilities. And this kind of conversation will come up. Well, why isn't it happening for me? Well, what can I do about it? I'm like, okay, great. So you can embrace those questions with love and understanding and compassion, and really pay attention when the unworthiness comes up or the doubt or the fear comes up. And then the question is, well, what's behind that? Well, where did I learn that? Well, is it true? Is it true? Is it true? And I think the practice of sort of allowing yourself to be in the magic and the mystery and the miracle is
it's so important.
Also very healing.
Yeah, it is, because to be there is hard for people. We're taught to stop that at a certain age. There's so much access to our divine selves in that. There's so much there that's either healing or helps our healing. Access to creation energy. Like, there's just so much in play and imagination and whimsy and joy, and
and it really serves the machine to have us
100%.
disconnected from that.
Exactly. And our goal as what we're doing is always like to move from the heart and help people with that. And that's the opposition, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting chills right now. I think that leads me to this question that I've been asking, because we're all in the world. We know what's going on, and we're in LA right now. We had recently more of an influx of harsh, traumatic energies. But in the whole world, there's lots of things going on, and we're all aware of what they are. For you, how do you process that and still hold the light? What did she say? Hold the light in a gentle way. What did you send the receipt?
I don't know.
No, I know. How do you
hold the darkness lightly?
Yeah, how do you do that? How do you do that in this?
Well, this is a huge question for me personally that I have been deeply contemplating. I recently read a book called Queer Dharma by Jacoby somebody.
We'll look it up.
I don't know. It's around here somewhere. It's over there.
We can add it to the... Okay.
We'll add it. And it's Dharma teachings for understanding social injustice. And there's lots of amazing books that speak about, holding social injustice and responding to it and maintaining our spiritual alignment and our commitments. And I have to admit, like, I have cycled through despair.
Of course.
I'm really good at, like, detaching. I can do that.
Yeah.
I can just pull out all of my spiritual tricks and keep my mind and my emotional body above it. But that feels disingenuous, and it feels it feels dishonest on some level. And I think, the more masculine path to God, which is, cut out your emotional body, transcend, stillness, all of this is an illusion, all of this is Maya, all of that. It's incomplete, and it's not working for us anymore because these things keep happening.
Yeah.
And so a different approach is, well, can I witness and metabolize? Can I go within and see where I'm holding my portion of the distortion? Mm-hmm. Can I recognize how my lineage and my ancestors participated in the roots of what's happening now? Mm-hmm. Not with judgment.
Right.
Not with condemnation, but just honestly.
Yes. And
it's brought up grief, a lot of grief. I cry. Mm-hmm. And I sort of chose to surrender, to like explore that.
Yeah.
So that's like my own process, right? And then two things happened. So I was sort of in that space. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I also think, like, when you're very empathic, it's challenging.
Oh, yeah. And that is where you want to disconnect.
Woof. Yeah, woof. And then two things happened. My constellations teacher, who I continue to study under, his name is Ron Young. He's the best. Shout out to Ron Young. Yeah. And I was in class with him in our advanced training group, and I sort of asked him, we share, and his message to me was, okay, well, you have to hold boundary. Mm. And that's a personal message for me, right? Maybe it applies to you as well. And then I was having a really challenging day. I was really, really having a very, very challenging day. And I went to the grocery store to get peaches. Mm-hmm. And I go to our local co-op over here that has like the most, direct, local, organic, it's a serious treat to go to the co-op. And I was getting peaches, and there's a man who works there who's very beautiful, but I've never really spoken to him, but it's my local market, so I see him from time to time. But this time he was standing on the other side of the peach container. And he looked at me and he said, "How you doing?" And I said, I'm okay. You know, I was on the verge of tears.
Right.
And he was like, this man who I have never spoken to before looked right at me and he said, whatever's happening right now, you're going through it, it's temporary, and you have to keep going.
Thank God.
And then he said, do not let the world destroy you. Most everybody are unhealed children, and you can't expect ethics from unhealed children.
So true.
He said, I'm going on 50 years.
Aww.
The only people I trust are myself and my brother. He's making a point, right? He's saying, peace comes from within and nowhere else. Mm-hmm. This world will never give you peace. Mm-hmm. You cannot wait for this world to be peaceful for you to be peaceful. Yeah. He said, you have to put up a boundary.
Wow.
And do not let the world destroy you.
Yeah.
And so I cried.
I'm like gonna cry right now.
And he gave me a big hug.
Oh my God.
This beautiful, safe hug. And, you know, he told me his name. He said, I'm always here. You can always come talk to me. And I mean, so he's teaching me about safe masculinity.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Right? It's like the despair of eons of womankind and then whatever's happening with the, you know, what's happening right now, right?
Yeah.
Right? So it's up for the collective.
Yeah.
And so here is this gift, this blessing, this angel sent to me to demonstrate, to not only deliver this message that I needed to hear, because this is logical wisdom that I already have, but I needed somebody outside of me to be like, hello, if you didn't have permission to take this wisdom, I'm giving it to you. Yeah. Do not let the world destroy you. You cannot expect ethics from unhealed children. You need to put up a boundary.
So important.
And he gave me this beautiful hug. So he's demonstrating safe masculinity. It's like all of these teachings.
Yeah, community, supporting each other.
Exactly. All of these teachings just wrapped up in this one moment. And I mean, I came home, I was like, whoa.
I would be like, whoa, quick, scan me out. Miracle. I'm going to break down.
I know.
Cry the whole way.
And it was like his words had a healing effect. It's like it just took and so I do feel that something that I'm learning is like when we just consume this kind of desperate information raw, it does put like a layer over our discernment and it clouds us because it's not really, it's real, but it's not the truth.
Right.
You know?
Great way to say that.
And I just felt like his words had this like healing effect and like I woke up like a new person after that. I feel so blessed.
Yes. Truly an angel. Like
truly.
What all you said was
all I said was I'm okay. And he was like one of those days. And I was like, And he thanked me for my honesty. It was like,
I mean, you know, anyone could have just been like, okay, hope things get better, you know.
Right.
But he like was like, nope, we're gonna connect to our hearts.
Yeah. I was like excuse me?
Which is what we need more of, right? Like connect with each other in those moments and be like, let's hold this.
Yes. It's like, let me see you.
Yeah.
Let me really embrace you. Let me really meet you. Let me really be there with you.
Yes.
And sometimes I feel really privileged because working on oneself in this way is such a privilege, right? That only happens when you're in relative safety.
Totally.
And so I do hold the question of like, well, what can I do for the people in immediate need? And my answer to that is, okay, if there's a community action that I can take, I will take it.
Yes.
If there's a donation that I can make, I will donate.
Right.
And collectively, if we are collectively in despair, if we are collectively in confusion, then that's going to feed the momentum of these more difficult, darker forces.
True.
And so it really is meaningful, necessary, and relevant to take care of each of us.
Yes.
And so, like, I just went through that whole journey of that big question. And so I feel really renewed in...
Oh, that, like, just happened.
That just happened, like, 3 days ago.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. So I feel really renewed in...
Beautiful.
what I can do.
Yeah. More being from your heart. Yeah. Yeah. And that's true. All of those things are ways that we can help, but we can also make sure we're okay.
Yeah.
So we can help in any way.
Yeah. And I mean, like, do not let the world destroy you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I need that tattooed on my back.
I know. And the boundary part, and you had just heard that. And like you said, him hugging you and just taking that moment. I'm sure you felt like you were alone in that moment, just the two of you and this portal of time and just the energy swirling between you.
Yeah, it was magic.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that you got that support. That's
Thank you.
beautiful. I would have been crying. I'm crying right now. Yeah, that's incredible. Wow. Thank you for that wisdom and sharing that. I just think it's so important for all of us to have this conversation so we can support other people in that space, but also for other people, maybe plant seeds that, there's different ways. So yeah, thank you.
I think we hold back. It's like, if we have a message of love and wisdom, we should share it.
Yeah.
And not in a patronizing way, but just, it's like, if you have that calling to speak something loving over somebody, do it.
Yes, truly. Because even if, like that, in that moment, maybe they needed it. But even if it wasn't that type of place, it will land and they'll use it when, you know what, someone told me one time, and it'll come when it's supposed to, right? Like when you are doing healing and you get like these downloads, and you're like, I don't know what that was about, but it'll come forward when it's supposed to. And I'll be like, oh, I know what to do here. Yeah. Is there any other story that comes to mind like that, where you felt like there was this moment of coincidence?
Yeah, I've got a few of them. So I'm having another round of facilitator training, and I just sent out my announcement email, and a friend of mine sent back, like my good friend, a close friend, sent back, because she's on my list. So she responded to that email as like, yes, darling, love this, like emojis. And that email, that like, yes, darling, love this, came through 4 times.
Oh, cute.
Hello,
yeah,
random.
I mean, we all know.
One of the, and I've got 2 other ones that came to mind for this for this moment was when I really early on in my journey, when I was like swirling in the Abraham Hicks type life,
yes,
and I read Ask and It Is Given. I was like in that. I was all in that. And I remember I parked my car, I went into wherever I went into. And then when I came out, there was a little piece of paper on my windshield, and it was this Bible verse, Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things.
Love that. Wow. That was on.
It was just tucked on my windshield.
I love that. I feel like the receipt and that, like, we need to just be dropping notes with like
I know.
Inspiration.
So
more.
true. So true.
Cool.
But it was like, it was just
profound.
Unmistakable. And then another one is I also do mantra practice. So whenever, especially when I'm in times of transformation or I'm a little bit stagnating, I'm ready to move forward in a specific way, I will adopt a mantra practice of chanting continually internally. So it's not just like one round of 108 with the beads. I'll say the mantra continually, like as much as I remember to do it. And then after several days, it's sort of like a heartbeat, and it's just always in your field, and it transforms things like so quickly, so quickly. And so I was in a very emotionally difficult, very challenging moment. And so I chose to chant a mantra for Lord Kalabhairav, which is a fierce aspect of Shiva.
Okay.
And his, what's the word? His like chariot, his like symbol, his, anyways, is a dog. And so I'd started this mantra practice, and I'd been very faithful. I'd been chanting it very, very faithfully for like, I don't know, a week or so. and I was hiking my local hike, my regular hike, and up the hill, here comes 4 dog walkers with like 7 dogs each.
I was gonna say, there's got to be more.
Like a dog parade coming down, and I was like, okay, I guess we're in communion. Like, I guess it's working.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for this like dog, like cart caravan, like of energy. Yeah,
It was so unmistakable.
Exciting.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's perfect. All of that, and I'm always saying this, but it's like those moments you could dismiss them, be like, oh well,
or not notice them, or
exactly. And it is so important to have that conversation with your team, your guys, whatever you feel like it is, that, yeah, that's a present, like a physical support that's going, yeah, we're here, we're doing this together, you're doing the right thing, keep going, keep going. And like you said earlier, the ease part, I love that, because that is so important to remember. Like, it usually is so much easier. It happens so much easier. So yeah, those are so great.
Yeah, and there's a difference between like purifying obstacles, because that also happens, where it's like there are, things set in your path that you have to sublimate and digest and learn from in order to get there.
Yes.
But even that, there's like
you get support, and you're like, do that. It's different, because sometimes people will go, oh, but now there's this, so maybe it's not easy.
Right.
And they use it as an out.
right.
So yeah, but it's like you see that and you go, no. And you were saying earlier, like you can feel the through line, like, no, I have to go through this because I can tell I'm supposed to keep going. So yeah.
Which is different than like, I have an idea in my head, and so I'm going to make it happen.
Right. Yes.
So that's a different energy.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that. The discernment of the two. Well, I love asking this like quick fire questions, but before I do that, I just want to open the space. Is there anything you want to share? Can we know more about you or the training? Anything that you want.
Yeah. I want to talk about the training for sure. So this is going to be my 3rd facilitator training this year. I had one in March, one in May, and then we're going to have another one that starts online in September, and then we're in person in November. Nice. And these trainings,
I bet.
They are, if I can say, they're way better than I thought they would be. They just, there's a real movement of support that comes through in these spaces. And there's a lot of Kundalini activation schools and facilitator trainings. People started to sort of spin off really early in the game. I practiced, I did hundreds and hundreds of classes and facilitated for over 1,000 people before I chose to do a facilitator training. So I feel like it comes from a very grounded place. And we continue to sort of think of everything. And so I'm very proud and very grateful to offer a training that's extremely comprehensive.
Yeah.
Because on the surface, this work is very simple, right? You play some music, you sort of do the work, and then whatever happens, happens, right? But there's an aspect of being a mentor and a guide.
Yes.
And holding space in a way that is truly going to deliver each participant as far as they can go. We need to be trauma aware. We need to be trauma informed. Yes. We need to be culturally aware and sensitive and comprehensive, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, I love this work so much, and there's a way to make it excellent. And I feel that these trainings really makes it excellent. And the people that have gone through the training are just
the best.
Oh my gosh, I would walk through fire for every one of them. And it honors me to no end to see the people who come to training really transform, really blossom. And I want to take this work forward in the best way possible. So I'm like just so excited to continue offering trainings, and it's great. Really in depth. It's really beautiful. So if you're feeling this right now, if you want to train, the next one's coming up.
Amazing. And we'll put everything, all your contact stuff in the
Great.
bio so they can reach out to you and sign up because, yeah, that's so valuable for, like you said earlier, for their life, for their community, for the world.
Yeah. And it's such an amazing resource, especially for times like now. Like, you don't have to learn anything. You don't have to focus. You don't have to try. You don't have to go through the like challenge of finding your way into this little esoteric, like, no, you just lay down, relax, music comes on, the body does everything it needs to do, and there's movement, the doors are open, and people really need those spaces. They need spaces to reorient, regulate their nervous systems, cry it out, like see other people who are like them, you know. It's an amazing resource.
Yeah, that's great. I'm so excited to see like, your next amazing group of people. I love that. I totally understand what that feels like. I'm going to grab my phone because I have to get the questions. Okay, so I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions that always tend to not be very quick fiery. I'm sure I say this, what healing modality do you love the most that's not Kundalini?
Oh, great question. I love constellations. I love, there's a healing modality that my other teacher, Gars Chan, uses. Do you know Gars?
I've heard that name, yeah.
She's great. It's like it's adapted from the Yuen method, so it's sort of in the realm of body talk and like emotion code and like, but it's
I'm getting
so
chills.
Awesome.
Yes. What is, if you like yoga, what's your favorite type of yoga?
Oh my God, I love yoga. I love all yogas. I practice a lot of different types of asana practice. I have a teacher, Yasmin, who teaches Iyengar, and I love Iyengar.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you. I know I always say if you like yoga, everyone likes yoga, but you never know. Most special place that you've traveled?
Ooh.
Hard one if you love traveling.
Assisi.
Oh, amazing. Yes.
I love Assisi. I have been very fortunate and blessed to travel a lot for my work. I did a tour of Europe where I was in Assisi, and then after Assisi, I went to Florence, and I was like the only person in the world disappointed by Florence because Assisi is so magical.
Oh, well, okay. Then I was
because Assisi is so. I was like, wait. I'm like, but
it's supposed to be okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, explain.
Wait, what?
I lived in Florence for a period of time, so I was like,
but Florence is also amazing.
When you say it that way, I get it.
You're like, yeah.
Okay, that was like,
I went to Berlin. I went to Prague, but Assisi is the best.
Yeah, that's why I was like, once you put that, I was like, I get it. What's your favorite constellation?
My favorite, like, constellation
in the stars.
In the sky.
Yes.
I don't know. I really love Orion and Cassiopeia, mostly because I can recognize them very easily, but I always get very excited. I feel like Orion's just everywhere all the time over there with his big
That's my favorite one too. Ever since I was a kid, I was like, where
is he?
And that was a serendipitous moment we had on the podcast last year that we had a tattoo artist. And that was a question we asked the Void at the end. What's your favorite constellation? The Void said Orion. She had Orion tattooed on her face. And we knew that was both of our favorites. It was like a perfect, Atlantis or Lemurian energy. Which one would you like more?
I don't really know.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Most unique place you've ever like hosted a ceremony or an event?
Most unique place. I was in Hungary for. I got to do a session in Bratislava. I got to hold a training in Hungary, and we were in Balatonfreud. I'm sure I said that marginally correct.
Yeah.
But it's this enormous inland sea. In Hungary. So people from that region really vacation there. So it's really beautiful. But the sea itself, it's like shaped like a banana. It's super long and the water is quite shallow. Wow. And it's on white sand. So it's this like icy, crystally blue colored lake. So we were at a retreat center in a vineyard near that lake. So it was very special.
That is, oh my goodness, incredible. I have to look at a picture of that. Do you have a nickname if you feel comfortable to share it?
My friends call me AP.
Okay, cute. What is your favorite type of food? Like whether it's a dish or culture?
You know what? I love regular old fresh vegetables. Like I will tell anybody that my favorite food is a tomato.
Cute.
A cold tomato with salt, but like a good tomato.
Right, not,
you know?
yes. I didn't even like tomatoes, so I lived in Italy, and I was
Oh my
like,
God.
this is why I never liked them before.
I
They
love
don't taste like this where
tomatoes.
I live. And then I was like, now I like tomatoes. If you had a choice, what would you reincarnate as? And it doesn't have to be...
What would I reincarnate as if I
Earth.
had a choice? This is such a challenging question. I can't believe you're just giving it to me like this. I'm going to say I would love to be a bird.
Oh, cute. I love that. I know everyone's answers are so different. I don't even want to give any context because I'm always like, yeah, whatever comes into your space. That's so cute. Do you have a favorite word?
A favorite word? Mm-hmm. I love the word alacrity.
See, I love that. That's never been one. I love
alacrity.
That. Last one.
Cheerful readiness.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I love how it like sounds. What is your moon sign?
Libra.
Oh, okay, cool. So that's the last question. Thank you so much for doing this. I feel like there's so much wisdom you're carrying, and I know so many people are going to find value in what you've shared today, but also in connecting with you and feeling your energy. I mean, even when you were moving your hands in the beginning, I was like, whoa, I'm already feeling it. I was kind of giggling to myself like, yeah, y'all are in for a treat. So thank you so much for everything, your time, and inviting us into your space. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I had so much fun.
Yay, yeah. Thank you. So we always end the podcast asking the void a question. So I'm going to ask it into the ether, and then we just receive the information. So the question today is quite simple and direct. The void, what is your favorite crystal or gem?
The purple shiny crystal.
Okay, you don't have the name. That's fine.
Never meant to have a name.
Oh, they were never meant to have names. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, the void. You're always coming with the insights. So thank you so much, healer, for being with us today. I appreciate you, and I wish you so much joy and serendipity on your healing journey, and I know our paths will cross again.